started off in go-karts. I was 11 years old when I started in Southern California, and I spent pretty much almost till I was 18 years old in karts. And then from there, progressed on to bigger cars and kept moving up the ladder until I got to this point here. My father was involved in racing for a long time, even prior to when I was born. He had an automotive shop. We were always involved in the automotive industry, and you know, it was something we tried out when I was younger, and I had done well. I won a championship when I was 14, and it just kept going from that point on. I think it was always a dream of his to have me get to this point where I'm at now. My father used to work as a mechanic for David's dad, and he would always talk about how David's father was so analytical, and so he would basically come in and tell exactly what's going on with the car and engineered and worked it, and he always tried to emphasize, pay attention to what the car is doing and be able to explain how the car feels to the mechanic. When I was born, my parents were traveling with Penske, and I happened to stay at his house for a little while until my parents got settled and we got back to our place. David, I think, has probably been the only teammate that I've been with for this long of a time. When I first saw David racing, when we raced against each other in touring cars back in the mid-90s, I came up to him and said, "Hey, did you know that I lived at your house when I was a baby? My dad..." He's like, "Whatever." You know, he didn't even listen. I think he probably hears a lot of those stories about his father, but once he checked into it, he found out that was true. I've been on teams where if you don't have the two drivers getting along, or if you're not communicating, it makes it rough. It makes it hard for everyone to, you know, you have to gel, as they say, and be a happy family and get along. And I think David and I are on the same page as far as from our driving standpoint, basically from what we say with the car. We're very similar, and it works really well. It's like if I miss some practice or some testing, no big deal. I know he's got it, and I'll be close to where he is. The series is so competitive. You can't come into it like you would treat a sprint-type race for 30 minutes where you just go full out and smash your way through. There's no way the car won't make it. On top of that, you have to preserve the car and give it to your teammate. You have to be a lot more heads up with how you treat the car and everyone around you, and look for the final lap rather than just burying it in there on the beginning. Watkins Glen is my favorite track. I love running there. It's just a great track to drive. It flows, it's fast, it's got a bit of everything. It's got fast corners, high-speed straightaways, it's got slow, tight stuff, several opportunities to pass, and it's a great track. I love going off-roading. I have quads. We go riding up in the mountains where I live. I spend a lot of time training. I have a road bike. I do a lot of cycling. I have a lot of buddies where I live, and we do a lot of riding, but it's always something active. If all things go well, I would see myself right here still in Grand-Am in prototypes. I mean, I run in a lot of different series still, and this is the best road racing, if not in the U.S., possibly in the world, you know? I mean, we've got several races, we've got great competition. Everybody that comes here, even guys that I talk to that run other series, even in Europe, everyone that runs in Grand-Am wants to come back and run it.